Before it changed Hollywood, it was destined to be one of the biggest cinematic disasters of all time.
When Steven first talked to me about it, I was really excited. He said, "You want to do it?" I said, "No." And he said, "Why?" I said, I'd rather watch this movie than shoot it, and it's going to be a bitch.
What we are dealing with here is a perfect engine, an eating machine.
Before it kicked off one of the greatest directorial careers ever, it was on course to end one.
The pressure on him was so enormous. The reality of shooting that film was so horrifying. And he was fired every day. I'm not kidding. Every day.
And before it scarred audiences for a lifetime, the shark stopped working.
You could literally walk anywhere on Martha's Vineyard and follow the film, because everywhere you heard, "The shark is not working. The shark is not working. Repeat."
It's been nearly 50 years since it stopped being safe to go into the water, and now Oscar winner Richard Dreyfuss looks back at the film that catapulted him into stardom and forever changed the course of movie making.
Well, there is one way that an actor can get back, and that's like going to Chicago and being interviewed on TV and telling the story.
It was a shark.
This is The Shark is Working, a conversation with Richard Dreyfuss.
First of all, you're talking to the one guy who got it wrong. Okay? I'm the guy who thought it would tank.
These days, starring in Jaws seems like a no-brainer for an unknown actor looking to break out in the business, but in 1974, Richard Dreyfuss wanted nothing to do with it.
So I walked into this meeting, and I was introduced to Steven Spielberg in the corner, and then these two producers, and I said, "I want to thank you very much for offering me this part, but it's not something I'm interested in doing."
9 days before filming was set to start, the role of Matt Hooper had not been cast, and Dreyfuss insisted he wouldn't take the part, until the day he saw himself on the big screen for the first time, in a film called The Apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz.
I saw the first film I starred in, and I had not ever seen me for more than 2 minutes or so on film. And I just thought I was just the worst. And that if that film was sold in the United States, I would never work again. So I called Spielberg and begged him for the part.
These days, the name Spielberg is synonymous with the best that filmmaking has to offer. But when principal photography began in May of 1974, the then 28-year-old director only had a few films to his name and seemed destined to sink under the weight of this expensive blockbuster.
If you had walked on that set and wanted to meet the person of authority, you'd never have picked Steven on that film. You would have made no such mistake ever again.
With production finally underway in Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts in the summer of 1974, it didn't take long before the cast, crew, and studio knew this was not going to be as easy as they originally thought.
It's like no one ever knew that we were the very first film ever to attempt to be shot on the real ocean. No one had ever done that in the 75 years of filmmaking. Everywhere you'd heard, "The shark is not working. The shark is not working. Repeat. The shark." And one day you heard, "The shark is working. The shark is working. The boat is sinking." And I was on that boat. So, yeah, the boat was sinking in the real Atlantic Ocean, and I was trying to help this sound guy with a $50,000 Niagara on his lap, and I'm trying to help him get his leg over the side of the boat. And Steven is going, "Get the actors off the boat, get the actors." I said, "Steven, come on, he's 70 years old. Fuck him, get the actors off the boat."
With the shoot quickly going over schedule and over budget, perhaps the worst thing that could ever happen to a shark movie happened. The shark didn't work.
And the shark would come up from the water and go, "Row, row, row," and like that. So Steven had to reconceive the film as he went along.
However, the young director soon figured out that without a shark, he needed to get creative. And that's when the genius of Jaws was born.
Let's see how long that barrel takes to bring him up.
He couldn't show the shark, so he had to imply it. But did he know that as a stated essay in his mind? No, he just was scrambling to make to shoot a movie.
Is the best thing that happened to this movie that things went wrong?
Yeah, easily.
From limitations comes creativity, and eventually, genius. What was once the black sheep of Universal Pictures quickly became the highest-grossing film of all time, becoming the first film to make more than $100 million at the box office and birthed the concept of the modern summer blockbuster.
At the end of the movie, the whole audience burst into this enormous thank you of applause. Roy says that I jumped on him, that I was so excited that I literally jumped on him like a monkey. But boy, did we know that we had made a hell of a film.
With the success of Jaws catapulting the careers of its director and cast into the realm of superstardom, one word began circulating around Hollywood: sequel. However, Dreyfuss would not be convinced.
We made all that money, and I met the Queen of England, and David Brown asked me to do the sequel. I said no. He says, why? Robert Shaw, Roy Scheider, and myself worked for the same amount of money, which, let me tell you, is called this amount. I took it personally.
Dreyfuss, however, didn't need Jaws 2, because while on the set in Martha's Vineyard, he overheard Spielberg talking about a new idea for an alien picture he was writing, a film that would go on to be called Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
He had made the film originally for a man of life experience, like Gene Hackman and something like that, a lifer in the military. And then one day I got the part, and I knew I got the part, because I said to Stephen, you need a child. It takes a child to get into that obsession, to want to go, and to leave his family. And he looked at me and said, you got the part.
It's the father of blockbusters. The movie that made an entire generation afraid of going into the water. The film that changed the history of movies forever. Jaws has withstood the test of time and has played time and time again for countless generations. Though don't expect Dreyfuss to watch it again anytime soon.
I love the movie, and if caught at a certain time when I'm flipping the channels, I'll watch it. But why would I watch it from the beginning? I'm 71. I got to prepare for my death. I got more important things to do
Than watch yourself.
than watch myself.